Hi, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here at the Wire Life podcast. I appreciate you being here. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Excited to have you. Excited to hear your journey and how you got started in real estate. Want to tell us a little bit about you and how that happened?
Sure. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom, a homeschooling mom for 24 years. And before that, I was in the medical field. I worked for 10 years as an occupational therapy assistant. And I love my job, but I love being a stay-at-home mom more. So that is, I guess, over the years where I kind of worked at getting some skill sets to manage things and multitask and and have endurance and courage and all that stuff. And I know that the God helped me with that. So then I'm in a different season of my life now. I'm a grandma and we have just one child at home now. 3 are married. So, I asked God, what now? Like what for this season? So in my prayer with him and time in his word and journaling, he just started to reveal some things to me that he had something else for me for this season. And my whole life I've been focusing, on him and my family, which was right and good for that time period. But now it seems like he wanted me to be able to develop some skill sets to be able to expand my thinking. So instead of having kind of a scarcity mindset where you live paycheck to paycheck and you just hoping everyone gets fed and all that, now he was helping me to develop a abundance mindset. So the abundance mindset is something that has been new for me in the last year or so. So moving forward, he started speaking to me audibly, and he just told me that I needed to cut my wood. And so I said, okay, I don't understand, but we have a lot of woods in the back of us. And so we got in touch with some people that we knew who were able to come in and responsibly harvest our wood and be able to sell it to the local mill. And so we raised money because I didn't have any money. And I wasn't even thinking about real estate at this point. I had no idea what God was doing in my life. And so we put that money away in the savings account. We said, we're going to leave it there until we know what the Lord wants us to do with this. We believe that he is going to help us to learn how to multiply our money. So then we kept praying about it. And I was helping my 18-year-old son who still lives at home to start learning how to use social media, which I didn't know how. And that was an interesting experience. And when I was on Facebook to help him post for his coffee company, he's a home coffee roaster, I found Trace's Lupton's ad for the Wren sisters and for her masterclass. And so I said, well, for $17, I mean, that's an easy investment. So I took a leap and I did it. And I remember just laughing and crying and I could not believe the things that she was sharing, mostly her faith. I'm so glad that she is not afraid to share her faith in God. And so that was so encouraging to me that I told my husband, I'm like, I really feel like this God is leading me to do this mentorship with her. And it was to us a lot of money to invest because we didn't have very much. But I felt like the Lord led us to cut our wood, to put that money aside. We prayed about what do we use it for, and that's what he asked us to. So fast forward, I went through the mentorship program. I learned a lot, and I made a lot of great connections with lots of women who have come from all different experiences in life, and they all bring something different to the table. And so it's just so encouraging to share our faith, to share our trials, some things that we don't fail. We just learn. We have experiences that we learn from, and we just keep moving forward. So that's how I began. And that's where I am right now, is just trying to live out everything that I've learned through the mentorship.
Right. Very exciting. So, what strategy are you focusing on? What exactly in real estate are you doing, and where is your market?
Okay, so our market is primarily right now in northern Maine. And, we hope in time that we'll be able to expand that market. But we figured let's start where we know. And so this is where we live. So this is what we're doing now. And we want to be able to start helping people in the community to have more affordable housing. So at what we intended to do, which was wholesaling, we haven't done it all. And so now what we're working on is we're flipping 3 houses at once. And then we're hoping to close after Christmas on 2 more. And those 2 houses, I think we're going to keep using the BRRRR strategy. So, and they'll be rental homes for traveling medical professionals.
All right, I love that idea. So what has been a little hoop that you've come across in real estate? Like, has your contractors gone AWOL or anything out of the ordinary that you've had to overcome?
Yes, absolutely. I had been hearing on the REN Facebook group that a lot of the women had been having challenges with their contractors. I'm like, okay, so I was just bracing myself for that. And the first contractor that we had made a lot of promises. But then over time, we realized that his work was not where it needed to be, that he would show up to the job site late or not at all. We felt like there was evidence, pretty strong evidence, that he was maybe using the materials that we were buying, maybe on other jobs, because it just seemed like he was asking for more all the time, more than what should have been required for the job. And we found out some other things, when we did some more research about criminal background and alcoholism and just all kinds of things. And so in one of the properties he was working on, we had 3 break-ins while he was working there, and all done the same way. So we're just, so anyway, so moving forward, we prayed about it and we said, we just need to let him go. So I didn't feel very good as a Christian woman to have to fire somebody, but you have to do what you have to do. This is business. So we let him go and we prayed about it and said, now what, Lord? We have these properties under contract. We need to get the work done. There's some things we can do, but we can't do it all. And so God brought us a Christian contractor, and he's a local man, and I've met his wife and we feel very comfortable with them, and his work is excellent and he's always on time. And he's done the work in the time period that we expected him to do it, or quicker. So we praise God for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So how are you finding these deals? Are you doing any marketing, or what? How are these coming along?
Yeah, well, this is interesting too, because when they talked about marketing in the mentorship program, there's so many different ways. And but Teresa always has encouraged us to just do what you feel comfortable doing, and then just do it and try to pick 2 ways. So I tried to think about 2 ways I might be comfortable. And one was, calling the leads and, things like that, and trying to like cold calling. But then I said, I'm not sure that that's the way to go. So I ended up making the decision to do the bandit signs. And so again, my budget was limited. So I said, I can't even afford to do 2. I'm just going to have to start with 1. So this sounds okay because I have my 18-year-old son that can ride along with me. I can just drive around. He can jump out, stick the signs in the ground, and we're good to go. And then we just kind of took pictures with our phone of everywhere we placed them so we could remember where to go and pick them back up, or, to place them again. So Teresa braced us to realize that, the towns are probably going to pick them up. So you might get a few days of them advertising or whatever. But we're in such a rural place that I have not had to pick any of them up until just 2 days ago. And that's because we have so much snow. The plow truck men were concerned that they were going to break our signs. So we went and picked them up so that we could reuse them. But I thought that was interesting. Oh. So we've had no trouble with that. So I bought 100 signs and I put out 25. And so from July till now, that's all I've put out. And we've gotten well over 65 calls. We've gone out on a lot of homes to assess them. And then we ended up getting 5 under contract. So it's been a blessing.
Amazing, amazing. And amen to that. Very good. So are there any type of like softwares that you're using, or any systems that are working for you?
Right. So I am using PropStream. So I'm finding that is pretty consistent in our area. And then another thing I do use to cross-reference sometimes is Zillow. And then other than that, no. And I do have a local real estate agent, and she's been great because she has been helping us verify our comps to make sure that we're on target, which is really helpful. But then she also will send us leads if she has anybody who's listing a commercial property or a residential property. And right now she's trying to sell one of our first properties. So we've had 3 showings so far, and we have another one scheduled for today. So we're excited.
All right, congrats. Hope everything goes well. Better than expected
Yes.
with this market.
Yeah.
All right, very nice. So what does your team look like? Is it like a one woman team, or what are we talking about?
That's what I started with, right? So now my husband, because of what we're doing, realized pretty quickly that he was going to have to do a business with remodeling. And so we have had experience with that in the past. So it's not unfamiliar with him, but he formed a remodeling company called Evergreen Remodeling, and our 18-year-old son works for him. And then we have another son that lives locally here who does help part-time. And then we have people from our church. Some of the ladies love to paint. So just they're volunteering, right now we don't necessarily have it structured for employees, but they're just volunteering to help. And then we told them, I said, as the business grows, as we are blessed financially, we will turn around and bless them financially. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. And then we have our contractor and then his team. So that would be a 7-man team. And then we have an electrician and a plumber who are also friends in the church. One is in the church. And then we have just subcontractors that the contractors, kind of hire out. So, and then our realtor. So the realtor is a really key person in our team too.
Beautiful. I love it. So how are you funding all these deals now that you?
Okay, so primarily I've been working with the Wren sisters, the private money lenders. They have been really supportive, and it's just amazing, what we can do together as women. And I always tell them that, like, alone, most of us can't do it alone. Either we have the knowledge and the experience, but we don't have the money, or we have the money, but we don't have the knowledge and experience. But if we all work together and bring everything that we have to share with one another, then we can all be in a win-win situation. So, and then we have some hard money lenders that we have begun working with. One of them is Fund That Flip. And so I do like that company. The one thing I have learned that people should be aware of if they do use that company is that when they purchase a home, they will fund up to 83% of that purchase. So you do have to bring some of your own money to the table or get a PML. But and then as far as the construction payouts, they fund about 60%. So again, there's a 40% gap there. For the first few homes, I didn't know that. And so I had to kind of really backpedal and financially crunch numbers and figure out how am I going to, fill that gap. And so then I went back to the Wren group and I said, okay, I need a Wren sister PML to step forward and just kind of do a bridge loan. And the bridge loan, when you work with Fund That Flip, has to be unsecured. So that is another challenge there. So they don't get a lien position because Fund That Flip will not allow that. And the way they structure their business. So there are other companies that I have just recently learned about that don't put those type of requirements on, and that could probably fund closer to 100%. So I would definitely say shop around. Do your due diligence. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So having all these things going on at once, pretty much, how do you keep yourself accountable?
Okay, so I love what I'm doing because the people that we're working with, the people in the church, like you can just see them just really understand the vision. The women that we have only one man working for us, they're all women. And so the women need to have that extra income to maybe help their husbands a little bit. One woman that has just left an abusive relationship and she now needs to support herself and 4 children. So these are things that's important to me as a woman, a Christian woman, is to be able to support other women and children in need. And so as our business grows, that is one of our business models, is to be able to offer work for women in a flexible way, so that if they need to stay home with their children, they can stay home with their children. I have one woman that is working at home for me right now. I've never had this opportunity before, but she's blessing me by staying home with her 3-year-old while she's baking, so that I can have some things that are, healthy to eat in the morning and serve my family, so that I can get up at 6 in the morning and start the real estate investment work. So
Beautiful. A lot
that's
of
a balance. Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. So what about on the spiritual side, like mentally, emotionally, is there any routine you kind of have going on, or how does that look like?
Well, with Trace's encouragement, I have been trying to do better with that. I really need encouragement to drink water. I don't drink enough water. And so that's one thing that I have really been trying to committing to do for myself. So I have to exercise bike at home. And so I use that. I feel really good in the morning when I get up. If I can first do that, spend time with the Lord, get on my bike for a little bit, 30 minutes, and then be able to start my day, because it just goes better. And when I have the healthy breakfasts, some basic things prepared, it makes that part of the day go a little bit easier.
Okay.
Then we can get our team on the road to where we need to be for that day, whether it be on the job site, or if I need to be in the home office, which I do have days where I'm in here all day, because there's a lot of working parts to make this business work.
That's right. That's right. All right. Perfect. So it sounds like a lot. So what would you consider to be one of your superpowers, if you could pick one? Because you have many from what I see.
Thank you. I don't know. I think the biggest thing when I think about that is that just being able to trust God, and just to give everything to Him, because when I try to take things on my own, I get overwhelmed and I feel like, okay, I don't even know where to start, Lord. So then I start with the prayer, and then I just ask Him, okay, so this is your day. You're the CEO of my business. You tell me what I need to get accomplished today. And so it goes a little bit better. And I think one of the main things I try to focus on is just being able to be loving. It doesn't matter who I am relating to in that day. If it's the person that I'm calling because I need a dumpster delivered to the job site, or it's the oil delivery, or it's the contractor, the electrician, or whoever it is, I want to be able to, yes, be a woman boss, which is new to me, but I want to be able to do it in a loving, feminine way, so that I can be able to do my best to just be a vessel for Christ to work through me. So I want them to see
I
Christ
love
first.
that. Beautiful message there. So what do you like to do for fun, or for like a hobby, or not business all the time?
Yeah, exactly. And that is it. That is a danger. Like, you don't want to fall in that ditch. You want to be able to keep it balanced. So I'd love to go for walks, even in the snow. It's just beautiful. Just to be able to get out into nature. I do a lot of thinking and praying while I'm walking. And then I love to be with my family, and we just play board games and eat popcorn around the fire and just spend quality time with them. And I have a little granddaughter. She's 1.5. So it's just a ton of fun to play blocks with.
Very
So
nice. It's beautiful. So is there any good books that have touched you and have impacted you in any way that you may want to share with the audience?
yeah, I do. I have a lot of, I love to read. And the winters here are very long. And so we do a lot of reading in the evening. When I wrote them down because I wanted to make sure I relayed them correctly, but it's The Law of Recognition by Mike Murdoch, I should say. The Real Secret to Business Prosperity, and that's by Mario Michael. And Woman at the Cross by Mary Ellen Beachy, and that's by Carlisle Press.
Perfect. Thank you for that recommendation. So one last thing here for the audience. What kind of challenge would you like to leave them with for the next 2 weeks until we get the next episode going? So
I think the biggest thing is just to walk out in faith and obedience to God, because then everything else just falls into place. And so we don't have to spend time having anxiety or worry about all the moving parts all work together and how everything's going to unfold. Because when we can truly do that, God makes a way. He is just going to open doors we didn't think would ever open. He's just going to, kind of plow that way for us so we can just walk forward and just receive that abundance. And that's one of the biggest life lessons I've had to learn in the last year, is to be able to receive. I'm a giver. I love to give. I love to do for people. And to be able to receive that as a gift from my Heavenly Father, whatever He decides that He wants to gift me with, because He expects me to be a good steward, to multiply that, and to be able to share it with others. And so I would just encourage everyone just to give some time to prayer about that. What is it that the Lord wants me to do? And then trust that He's going to give you the tools and the resources to do it.
Perfect. You said it so well. I love it. It's really a great inspiration. And where can people follow you and find you?
Okay, so the name of our website is Property Solutions Real Estate Investors.com. And then also they can find us on YouTube and Instagram and on Facebook.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing with us and being here on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Take good care. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
You as well.